Hi everyone, it's Kelly from LOCH BRIAR Knits coming to you from a very foggy Nova Scotia, Canada on Saturday, January 5th. And this is episode 46, and I know all of that because this is the second take. I was literally 10 minutes in to the first take where I realized I was blabbering and I was all over the place, and apparently my brain is mush today. And I was like, you know what, we're just gonna cut our losses here and start over. So, starting over. Let's start first with what I'm drinking. This is the mug my niece gave me for Christmas, my niece Maggie. And I am drinking, because I do feel kind of fuzzy-headed today, despite 2 cups of coffee. I've now moved on to Pukka Revitalized Tea. So this has cinnamon, cardamom, and ginger, and hopefully a kick in the pants because I feel like I need one. So let's get going. This is a knitting podcast, so to all you returning viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for coming back for another episode. For all you new viewers and subscribers, welcome, and we're so glad you came to check out the podcast. I hope you return. Hit the like and subscribe button, which I think I have the right side. Maybe. If it's not this side, it's this side. But hit the like button. That helps us get the word out about the podcast and kind of grow the viewership. And if you want to be notified of when any new content is uploaded, just hit the subscribe button with the little bell and you'll get your notifications. So welcome, episode 46. Woo! So I don't have as much knitting content as I wanted to have. English is much easier when I'm writing it. So anyway. Also, speaking of new subscribers and viewers, I noticed that we did pick up a new batch of subscribers over the Vlogmas. So thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys have enjoyed Vlogmas. I know it's hard to keep up. I had like such a hard time keeping up with all the Vlogmases I was watching. I'm still trying to catch up. But thank you so much for everyone that checked that out. It was a lot of fun to do. Last year when I did it, I was kind of doubling up on days, and which might have been a little bit of a better idea, but this year I wanted to try to do it every day, and I think there was only one day I had to double up. So the thing was that for the first half, I think for the first half of it, I was on medical leave because I had had my shoulder surgery. So it was kind of, I wasn't able to kind of get out and stuff like that, but I could kind of come up with things to do and to film and stuff through that time. But then when I went back to work, I realized, wow, your life is really boring because it's really the same old thing. So there's a couple times I kind of got out around the city to take some shots and stuff like that. But yeah, I think maybe what I might do next year when I do Vlogmas is do it maybe weekly, like on the Wednesdays. Like every Wednesday, maybe upload an episode. Anyways, that's a year away. It doesn't matter. I'll figure it out when it gets here. Maybe I'll do, what's the autumn one called? Something Miss. October Miss. No. Autumn Miss. Fall Miss. No. What is it? Vlogtober. Give me a minute. It'll come to me. I think I'm getting a cold. I'm very stuffed up today. Okay, so this is starting to get babbly like the last one. So we're going to jump right in. Finished objects. I do have a finished object. I just do not have it here to show you. It was my husband's socks for Christmas. I finished them on Christmas Eve. I think I finished them. So he got them just like under the wire. But he's got them on right now. I did take a photo, which I think I still have, and I'm going to attempt to insert it like here. I don't know how to do that in iMovie yet, so I'll give it a shot, and if not, I'll just like cut, insert, and then move on. So those were knit out of, I believe I knit those out of Evie Knits. And I think it was her self-striping. No, sorry, it was Log House Cottage Yarns. That's what it was. Sorry, I'm there. Rogue hair. So I did finish those. He loved them. He said they're really warm. This is his first pair of knitted socks. So I was like, of course, knitted socks are better than any other kind of socks in the world ever. I'll convert them. So that's my only finished object because I haven't been able to get quite as much knitting time in as I wanted to. I can still only go so long with my shoulder before it starts to really kind of hurt. And then, because to add insult to injury, my left hand jammed up. Like literally the bones all in here, it jammed right up and my hand was so painful. The worst of it was that it happened, I think it was like maybe the day after Christmas. It might have been Boxing Day. I have no idea what caused it. I don't know if I slept weird on my hand and things just got all jammed up. But I couldn't put any pressure on my hand. I couldn't press down on it like this. These two fingers were super stiff. I could barely bend. The pain was like going up. My arm was like aching constantly. So I thought, like when I shook my hand like this, I could feel that the bones were jammed up in here. So I thought, oh crap. Like, luckily I had a chiropractor appointment after the holidays. The only problem was for like a week and a half, my hand was just like, I could barely use it. So I went to my chiropractor and he said, yeah, it was all jammed up in there. So he did like some massaging and some adjustments and adjusted all my fingers. So it's much better now. It's still a little sore and I'll probably get him to adjust it again next Monday just to kind of make sure everything stays loosened up. He gave me an exercise to do where I put like a elastic on this hand and then loop it up behind my hand over onto my thumb and literally like calisthenics for my thumb. Anyway, so I've been doing that. So yeah, but it feels much better and I have been knitting again, but I wasn't able to knit that much. However, I did knit some, so I'm going to show you my Christmas Eve cast on. Nope. Yes, Christmas Eve cast on. So I'm knitting this out of a homespun house, which was my Christmas present to me. I bought her Jingleberry colorway. Oops, wait, what am I doing here? There we go. And, you know, ignore my messy cake because there we go. Like, look at the colors in that. Those are beautiful. Also, there's a dog hair, but there's a dog hair everywhere. I can't. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So this is in her, I think it's her soft sock base, she calls it. And this was her Jingleberry colorway. So I didn't get too much progress in just because stupid hand, but here it is. This is how it knits up. I love this. I cannot wait to wear this. I noticed though, and I don't know if this was just because my hand was sore or what, it looked like a little bit of a laddering effect, which I normally don't get when I do magic loop. If you can see it. Oops, oops, oops. It's kind of faint, but it looks like there's a little bit of laddering going on there, but I think that might have just been the change in my gauge because I couldn't kind of grip everything the way I normally do. And I think I'm going to make these socks a little bit longer. Normally I would go probably about this much more and then start the heel, but I think I'm going to kind of make these a bit of a longer pair. And that's really like, it's just like your straight up vanilla sock, your 2x2 rib for the cuff. And I usually do that, what's that be? Like maybe a little more than an inch? What do you think? Maybe? And then just straight up, you know, vanilla sock. It's my go-to. I like doing vanilla socks just because I like to have one project that I can just grab and I don't have to think. I don't like having to think if I don't have to. Thinking's highly overrated. Sometimes you just want to, like, zone out. So this, vanilla socks are always good for zoning out. That's in my Fringe Supply Company bento bag, which I love. And that, you know what? I'm going to show you my bird of a feather shawl, but I don't know if I made any progress. I don't think I made any progress since the last time I did an episode. Because I did do... Yeah, no, I don't think I did show you. So this is all I've got. This one feels like it's starting to languish, and I really gotta get on the stick with this one. I gotta get cracking. Crack-a-lackin'. So I'm ready to start the next gray section, which I think is a lace section, and I think that's kind of what held me up, because there's really nothing to show you on this. I haven't progressed, but I think I will kind of maybe give that some love this weekend if I can. See, here's the thing. Now, in this bag, is my Veronika. So this is pretty much what has been getting most of my attention. And I don't like being a monogamous knitter. I like to have like a few different things that I can concentrate on. But the problem is that I have all these sweaters that I want to knit. And I promised myself I wouldn't cast on a new one until this one was done. And I think I'm going to potentially break that promise. But I'm so close. I'm like really making progress. So I'm going to pull this out and you're probably going to see a lot of dog hair on it. So for any of you new viewers, I have a golden retriever. And that golden retriever, God bless him, sheds like a son of a bitch. So, oh yeah. So I have dog hair on stuff. And this particular item of soon-to-be clothing seems to pick it up like crazy. So I am knitting. I'll show you the progress here in a second. I'm knitting this on Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Superwash, and that's in the Garnet Heather colorway. And which, of course, this color shows up the dog hair even more. And this is what happened. I went to pull the thread out of the yarn out of the middle of the cake, ball, whatever. And it basically barfed up its intestines. Like, I hate it when that happens, because now it's just like, it's just annoying. I tried to shove it back in, that didn't work, so. But all the other balls behaved properly. This is apparently the rogue ball. Well, you know what I should do, though? I don't know why I didn't think of this. I'll just slide it in. There. Ta-da! So, all right, I'm going to attempt to stand up. Okay, backing up. Oh. I went to the gym and did a leg workout because I'm allowed to do that now. I'm so sore. Like literally yesterday I could barely walk. That's what happens when you're not allowed to work out for months on end. Now I'm just going to preface, this is the Veronika by Shannon Cook, and I don't know what end is what, and I probably won't until it comes time to cast off and knit everything together. So I'm just going to stand up and show you what I got done. So I think this is where I was the last time I podcasted, and now there. So somewhere here I think is the sleeve. I think My brain says it should be this, but it's not. I don't think it is. No, it's not. It's probably this. So I expect, I'm getting to the point here. I have, I think, 28 rows left to knit of this section. And then I think we're going to have probably another section like this, and then I'm done, and then I just have to sew it all together. So it is on worsted weight. I'm gonna see if you can you see like all the dog hair, honestly, like. So I would say I'm enjoying the knit, but I think I'm also at the point now. There we go. Okay. I'm also at the point now where I'm ready to be done with it because I really want to start in on my Make 9 for 2019. And I've got like a lot of sweaters. This one I'm basically using to wear at the office because clearly if I have it around the house, it's just going to get covered in dog hair. But our office is always cold. So I wanted to make this so I could wear it at the office and just throw it over like whatever, because it's going to be, you know, big enough that it'll just pretty much fit over everything. And so it's coming along. It's because it's worsted weight, of course, there's plenty of, you know, progress being made. I'm going to take this off here for a second. I'm just at the point now where I'm ready to move on. The next sweater that gets cast on is going to be the Weekender, which is also going to be a worsted weight yarn. And I love that one. I have a feeling I'm probably going to make more than one Weekender, but we're going to make one to start. Anyways, this I'm going to work on today. I am stuffed up, but, and I'm sure I have more than enough yarn left. I still have, this is a new ball I just started, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls left. So I think I'll have more than enough. So I am going to work on that a little bit today. And that, kids, is all I have on the needles. That's it. And that for me is monogamous knitting. And it's not my thing. I'm ready to cast on all of the things. I am so excited to get started with my Make 9. I didn't do that last year, which is probably a good thing since when I tore my rotator cuff in July, the knitting for a good portion of the year came to a screeching halt. So I am going to insert a picture of my Make 9, but so the first thing on the list is going to be the Weekender, because I have been wanting to cast that on so desperately for, I think, since it came out. And every time I see somebody has knit one and they try it on, it doesn't seem to matter what your shape is. It just seems to look fantastic. So I've got my yarn. I'm using the Knit Picks Persimmon Heather. And I love this color. I love burnt orange on me. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm debating whether or not to swatch for it. I know I should. I probably should. But it's got a lot of positive ease to it. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll swatch. Maybe I'll live in the edge. But I may actually cast this on. And this is in my bag from the Loop, which is my local yarn store. Mimi, who owns the shop, it's her mom who makes the bags. And oops, I got a thread on it or something there. So I have a lot of these, which you'll know if you're regular viewer. But they're the best bags ever. Like I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think I have another one. Anyway. So the Weekender is going to be my first item. But my goal is to get one sweater done every season. So even if I can't wear it in that season, but it just basically breaks down to one every 3 months a sweater. Because I think that might be, given the amount of knitting time I have, that might be a reasonable amount. So the 4 sweaters are going to be the Weekender by Andrea Mowry and the Rachel by Jose Paquin, which is this one right here. And then the JC cardigan, which is this one like down here, which is by Isabel Kramer. And then the Gable by Hannah Fettig. So those are going to be my 4 sweaters. I think when I originally talked about the Make 9, I had a different 4th sweater picked out, and I can't remember what one. Oh, I think it might have been another Hannah Fettig one. But I don't know, something about this sweater that I just absolutely love. It's just kind of a classic shape. So the other thing was a shawl. This one, I'm totally blanking on the name. Oh my God, I forget the name. And it wasn't necessarily that it's going to be this one specifically that I do, although I do really like that. The other 2 items are, 3 items, 4 items, 3, 4. I do want to make, I don't know how well this is working. So those are the pattern socks Galliano from Tracy of Grocery Girls. And there's those ones. Actually, she's got a few. I'd like to try her Coffee Talk socks. And what's the other one? I think she just released a pair. So she's got several pattern socks that I would like to do. And then there's a couple other designers. But I always do vanilla socks, and I'm going to keep doing vanilla socks. But I also want to try a couple of the pattern sock this year. And the Galliano is probably going to be the first one I do. So the other thing is hats. So this is the sparkling cider hat. So that's a sparkling cider hat. But I also want to do the JoJo hat from Jody from the Grocery Girls. The sparkling cider hat is Kristen from Bull and Vine. And then the other thing is the Christmas ornaments from Susan B. Anderson. I have several of her patterns. So I want to get some of those done up for gifts and stuff next year. And then the last one is this one, which I just put in there just as a holding place. I'm designing my own shawl this year, so I want to complete that over the course of the year. So that's my Make 9. And I have all of the yarn for the sweater. I have all of the yarn, period, for everything there. Maybe not the Christmas ornaments. I might have to like kind of get some more Christmassy colors for those. Maybe. But that's about it. So. Not that that has stopped me from buying yarn. So first, let's talk about my Christmas acquisitions, which I feel no guilt over. Actually, I don't feel guilt over buying yarn. I just don't. But I really feel no guilt over this because I didn't spend my money on it. So I had asked for some of the Knit Picks Stroll Tweed for Christmas, and I told my husband what colors I wanted, and he came through. So this one here is the Prussian Heather, and oh my God, I love this. It's actually a bit of a deeper blue than what it's showing here. That's a little more true. But I love Heather. It's got a nice tweedy look to it, obviously because it's Stroll Tweed, so hello. But I love tweed. I love blue. This yarn is so freakishly soft. It's 10% Donegal tweed and where's the other one? 45% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. And the other color I got was the barn door heather in the stroll tweed. So I have sweaters quantity of these that my husband got me. Then my husband got me a gift card from the Loop, which, like I said, was my local yarn store. So if any of you are longtime viewers, you will know the story of the Tanya sweater that I knit out of Illimani's Sabri line, which is a cotton yarn. I love that yarn. The sweater was a fiasco from start to finish. And when I finished it, if you want to check back to maybe 5 episodes ago, I could not get my arms into the arms. Now, I have like bigger arms. I don't have skinny arms. I've got, and right now, because I haven't been able to work out, I really don't have skinny arms. But I didn't adjust for that. I was knitting the small, size small, and it fit everywhere, but I didn't adjust for the fact that my arms are bigger. Like even when I buy a blouse, it's rare for me to be able to find it fitting everywhere and then still fit on my arms. And back when I was training and before the accident that took me out of commission, that wasn't as much of a problem because I was much more toned then. So, but even still, the Tanya sweater did not, I started the armholes up too high. And the Sabri is a cotton blend yarn. So it doesn't have the same amount of stretch that like a wool would have. So I ended up giving that to my niece who's turning 12 this month. 12? Yes. So I think it fit her. I meant to check with her over Christmas, but anyway, she inherited that and I didn't get to wear something made out of the yarn. So with my gift card, I went and I got myself the exact same color because I loved it. And I got enough skeins. I bought 3 skeins and I have 1 left over from the Tanya sweater. So I have more than enough if I want to do like maybe a longer sweater. We'll see. But the blend on this one is 85% organic cotton and 15 baby alpaca. So it is so incredibly soft. I love the color. It's just like the lightest shade of gray. So I do have that now. The other fun little things my husband got me from Aspastraco is the little, so it's like my little stitch counter, row counter thing. I haven't figured out how to use it yet, but I think you just basically turn this. I don't know how to reset it back to 0, but you basically just, I haven't used it yet, but so like you just click the button here. Oop. So it counts it. And then I think you just hit the little button next to it probably to reset, which makes sense. Yes, you do. Then you reset and you start over again. And then I think it just turns itself off automatically. But when you turn it back on again, it'll be exactly where you left it. So for me, that is going to be so helpful because I always have my, like when I'm doing a pattern with any kind of detail, I need this. I need a stitch counter. I can't just, if I stop, I will literally forget where I was in the pattern. So it's good for me to have this. And I do have stitch counters, but I always set them down and then I can't find them and they get lost down in the crevices of the couch when I need it. So having this and just putting it like on my thumb or whatever is going to be perfect. So get me that. And then they also included, oops, stitch marker. Ta-da. And so he got me all these little stitch markers. So they're all in these like lovely colors. Da, da, da. So they come in this like funky little, I love this. So those were some little things that he had. And then, yeah. So that was kind of my Christmas stash enhancements. Next thing is that my birthday is 2 weeks from yesterday. So I always get myself a birthday present because who knows what I want better than me. So it was just kind of fortuitous that Tuscan Knits was having an update on, I think it was the Thursday. And I just happened to check my email and see the newsletter saying that she was having the update. So it was literally starting in half an hour. So I took the computer with me down to the TV room. We were watching TV in the evening. And once it was live at like 8, I think it was 8 p.m. our time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so it would have been 8 p.m. our time. I I was like going through. There was one colorway that I really wanted, but they didn't have. She didn't have it in the yarn weight that I wanted. She had a lot of like the mohair. I think it was her fuzz base, and it's a blend of mohair and I assume probably superwash merino maybe. But I just wanted like a sock weight or even the BFL, and I cannot for the life of me remember the color, but it was sort of like kind of like a burnt orange color. And I don't know how she does her colorways, but they always come out. This is the Goldberry. So, and I don't know. Yeah, you can tell here. It just seems to have these rustic undertones. And I don't know how she does that, but it's amazing. And I love her yarn. So I was trying to find... or I was hoping that she had some of the burnt orange, but she didn't. So I ended up getting a different color, but it's sort of a soft, like kind of a soft rose color. And I forget the name of it, but I'll try to put it in here if I can remember. And I got 2 skeins of that, and I would like to do a shawl with it. I had 3 skeins in the basket, because I think that would have given me a sweater's quantity. But then I thought, I have more than enough sweater's quantity. If anybody was watching my Vlogmas or saw the sweater's quantity of yarn spread out on my floor that I did a thing on Instagram, I have enough sweater's quantity yarn. So I put 1 skein back and I went with the 2 because I thought that would be perfect to make kind of a bigger shawl with. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not sure which shawl. What I may do, I may use that to design the shawl I'm working on. The only thing about that is the shawl that I'm designing is called Sycamore. So I really kind of wanted to do some of the kind of maybe green tones, which is her yarns are just stunning. They're stunning. Like I literally could have cleaned out the entire shop and my bank account, but it would have been so worth it. Anyway, so I did treat myself to 2 skeins of that, and it will probably arrive in or around my birthday, so that was kind of good timing. And that's it. That's it. Right now, I don't think I'm going to be buying any yarn for a little while. I've got more than enough stash. I've got more than enough sweater's quantity yarn. I've got more than enough sock yarn. So I do really want to spend the first half of 2019 really using up my stash. Not all of it, clearly, let's not go crazy, but I really want to put a dent in the sweater's quantity yarns that I have. the sock yarns that I have. Like, I just want to start to get some of this beautiful yarn I've accumulated knit in to stuff. So that's the plan for 2019. That's the stash enhancement. And I think that is pretty much all she wrote. Like I said, there's not been a lot of knitting content. I'm hoping by the next podcast in 2 weeks, I will have that Veronika sweater finished. Possibly the weekender started. Maybe one of them, maybe both of them. And I would like to put a bit of a dent in the bird of a feather. I at least want to get the next gray section done. So that is about it. As far as shop updates, I was going to do some dyeing this weekend and then realized I am not going to have time between podcasting, editing the podcast, uploading the podcast, and then just general chores I have to get done. Lunches made for next week, etc. So I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to do some next weekend, and then I'm also going to do some more. I think on the when I take my birthday day off, I might try to get some done that day, or I may try to get some other things out of the way so I've got some time for it on the weekend. So the shop update is probably going to be around the 27th, but I will let you know on the next podcast. I'll also announce it on Instagram. And also put it up on the Etsy shop as well. There is stuff in the Etsy shop right now. There's still, I think there's probably about 30 skeins, 27 skeins left. And I've decided to continue the free shipping. Yeah, $84 Canadian, which basically equates to about 3 regular skeins of yarn. There is some stuff in clearance as well, which has been marked down. So check that out. And I'll put the link in here. And yeah, have at her. And then hopefully by the 27th, I will have some new stuff up. And that's it. So life stuff, which, yeah, there's not too much to report. I had a fantastic Christmas. We had on Christmas Eve, we went to my brother's place and he puts on this like crazy spread of food. He loves to cook. Then, so we were there for Christmas Eve and like just stuffed our faces. I didn't do too bad. I actually got away without, waddling home. And then Christmas morning, John and I had the morning to ourselves. His son does Christmas in PEI, which is where his mother's family is from. So he goes there. So we do our Christmas with him beforehand, which I can't remember if I filmed any of that or not. I don't think I did. I mentioned it. Anyway, we do it before he leaves. So we kind of have his Christmas before he leaves, our Christmas the day of, and then Christmas dinner is up at my parents' house where everybody converges and the adults open their stockings because we exchange name for stockings. And then we have a nice big dinner and we hang out and then we all go home. And yeah, then the rest of the holiday was just kicking back, relaxing. And New Year's Eve, we didn't really do too much. We went out to dinner at Moxie's. We had Riley back for that, so he always likes going to Moxie's for New Year's Eve when we have him. So we went there, and I think we had a reservation for like 6 o'clock. I think we were home by 7:30. We were probably in bed by like 10:30. Wild party. So that was it. That was our holidays, and then it was back to work for 3 days. And those 3 days, seriously, by 3 o'clock, I was just felt like I was brain fried. I was so ready to, between I think just getting up early again, and then I was getting back into, I started writing again because I had taken time off last year. So I started writing again in the morning. So my work day starts at 6:30 with the writing, and then the day job starts at about 8:30. And then I was going to the gym on my lunch hours, and by 3 o'clock, my brain was like, I'm shutting down. So, anyway, so it's just a matter of getting back into the routine, I guess. So that's just it. We just took it easy. So going forward, now that I got a fiber in my eyeball. Now that we're kind of getting back into the regular routine, I've set some goals for myself for 2019. There was the Make 9 goals, which is kind of the knitting related ones. I've also set some writing goals. So the book I'm working on, I want to have finished and out by, I'm hoping to release it maybe sometime late summer. And then, workout wise, my physiotherapist was really happy with the progress I'm making with my shoulders. So I'm now up to using some weights, a whopping 2-pound weight, lifting like that, which really should not feel as hard as it does. I look at this weight and I'm like, I feel like it should be like lifting a toothpick. It's 2 pounds. Whereas before, when I was doing this, it would be more like, like 15 or something. And then 2 pounds and it feels like 15. So, but he said, once I start using the weights, which I started yesterday, he said, when you pick up the weights, because I had to go to Walmart to buy them because I didn't have them at home. So I got the 2-pounder, the 3-pounder, and he said, pick up the 5-pounder because you're going to probably progress to that within a couple weeks. So hopefully. But yeah, he was really impressed with the progress I was making. He said he usually doesn't see this quick a progress in people with this injury. So he was really happy with that. I was really happy to hear that. So it's coming along. I expect to make a full recovery. I expect in 3 months' time to be back doing my regular stuff in the gym, which is good because I now have 1 pair of jeans that fit me comfortably. And I just feel disgusting. I feel disgusting. I feel like I'm in somebody else's body, not my own. If you've ever had that feeling, like it's just things don't fit like they're supposed to. You don't, it's just uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. So my goal is basically to get, by June, to get back into kind of the range I was in with my weight and my body fat percentage and all that good stuff when I was training. So I want to try to get at least as close to that as I can by the end of June. That gives me 6 months. So that's what's going on. Just back into the regular routine of writing and working out and trying to squeeze in as much knitting as possible. And yeah, that's about it. So I am going to let you guys go. This may end up being a bit of a shorter podcast this time around, I think, just because we're only at 50 minutes right now. And there's probably a lot I have to cut out because I rambled a bit and got off on tangents that had nothing to do with anything. So I expect there'll be a little editing involved. But I think 2 weeks from now, we're probably going to be back into the regular schedule. So that is about it. So thanks everybody for watching, and for all you returning viewers and subscribers, thanks so much for sticking around and coming back every week. You guys are awesome. For the new viewers and subscribers, thanks so much for checking us out. I hope you'll come back. I promise the next time we'll have some more content than we did this time around. But yeah, so everybody have a great 2 weeks, and hope you get lots of knitting in and get some rest and relaxation to sort of ease yourself into the new year. And until then, I will see you soon, and happy knitting. See ya.